with the main event from UFC Vegas 48 as
That's right.
Jamal Hill gets the knockout of Johnny Walker in round one, 2 minutes 55 seconds. Made him drop like a damn Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Uh,
And so, Dominic, I think, to start this conversation off, I think we should start with Jamal Hill. Obviously,
yes.
he wins. He passes his biggest test to date. What were your thoughts on the performance, and what does this mean for kind of his future? Where do you see him going from here?
I mean, what a fantastic performance for him to go in his first main event slot against a guy in Johnny Walker who, he's been in big fights, he's been in main events, he's been in firefights, and Jamal Hill, so composed, so precise and technical, and damn it, so powerful. I mean, in my recollection, no, I've not seen a knockout like that in quite some time. The way in which it wasn't some flush, big right hook that just, destroyed the jaw of Johnny. It just glanced the temple, got him on the perfect spot, and I've never seen a man fall like that ever in the octagon. I saw someone say this is what Andy does when, or what Woody does when Andy's mom walks in the room, from Toy Story. It was just the craziest thing. Then he followed it up with a brutal right hand to finish it before the ref could step in. What a performance from Jamal Hill. And truthfully, a statement was made. We knew of his potential. We knew that he could win this fight, and we knew that he could finish the fight. But I didn't think in a million years it would happen in such dominant, quick, swift fashion. I'm already ready to see Hill back in the octagon, man. Welcome to the top 10.
Welcome to the top 10, and he might even be knocking on the door for
Yeah.
top five
Yeah.
next. I think that this was a statement for sure. Yes, Johnny Walker's chin has been a little iffy. Corey Anderson finished him via strikes. And then he had that fight with Ryan Spann where he almost kind of got finished but came back and won. Um, but to put the guy out like that, that's something we've never seen.
Yeah.
And while I do think it was a good performance, a good win, a highlight reel, it's really gonna keep it. It felt like one of those that people are gonna remember that for a while. It's probably
Hmm.
gonna be on year-end list potentially.
Yes.
Um, but I do think that it's like it doesn't necessarily answer any questions I had about Jamal Hill. If I'm being honest, I mean Jamal Hill. This is what I knew he could do.
Exactly.
He can
Yeah.
crack, man.
Yeah.
The guy's got very good power in his hands. For him to put out Johnny Walker says something, but I think there are tougher tests ahead, not just in sort of the ranking and the level of talent, but just I want to see can he utilize takedown defense and stay on his feet. And, you know, Paul Craig kind of exposed a little bit of that. So it'll be curious moving forward how they match make him because
Yeah.
some of the names that directly ahead are somewhat appealing. Dominic Reyes, Volkan Oezdemir, Nikita Krylov, but
Yep.
I don't think that they really answered those questions any more than Johnny Walker does. So I look for him to get a fight like Anthony Smith, a
Yeah.
guy who will take you to the ground, a guy who has had a great chin in his
Yes.
career. Um, I think that that would answer a lot if he could finish Anthony Smith, put him away,
Hmm.
stay off his back. Those are a lot of battles you'll have to fight in there. And considering Anthony Smith has like three times, quadruple times the amount of experience
Yeah.
that Jamal Hill has. I do love a fight like that for him. I know Anthony Smith is kind of looking ahead, but I just think that with Jamal Hill here, he seems like a guy that's got a lot of momentum now, kind of won it all back after that Paul Craig loss. I say you really try to push him ahead and test him against some of the top five of the division.
Yeah, I think just you saying you believe that he deserves to be in there with Anthony is saying a lot about where we feel Hill stands. Because you mentioned the Uzdemirs, the Dominic Reyes, the Krylovs, but it feels like after a performance like this, but you can just hopscotch all of them because we kind of want you in there amongst the elite of this 205-pound division, the really well-rounded guys. I mean, we have a big main event coming up in a couple of weeks between Thiago Santos and Magomed Ankalaev that can really determine a lot for the future of this division as well. So this division is looking relatively bright. It's fresh, and Jamal Hill now just really that next up and comer of the because really a lot of these guys ahead have still been there for quite some time. Jamal Hill is that new fresh blood who's now going to make things really interesting, and I think a legitimate threat to a potential title run here in the not too far distant future.
Well, one of the things he has going for him is the fact that this division, while it's got a clear title fight scheduled, Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prohaska, after that it's a little less clear kind of where the division stands.
Hmm.
Jan Blachowicz, Alexander Rakic is a fight that was planned for March. I'm assuming that fight's still going to happen. Likely, if Rakic wins, he would be next. If Jan
Yeah.
Blachowicz wins, maybe he would be next. It's very, and then when you go past that, it's really unclear kind of where the division stands. I mean,
Hmm.
you have a lot of these guys kind of vying for opportunities, but like those names we mentioned, Nikita Krylov, Volkan Oezdemir, Dominic Reyes, those are the three names that are going to be ranked in front of Jamal Hill, assuming he takes that number 10 spot from Johnny Walker. All three of them have been struggling for the last, year or so.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying not any of those three guys couldn't give Johnny or Jamal Hill a good fight or win, but I'm just saying that for Jamal Hill, he's the one that's got the momentum, while some of the names directly in front of him are on their way backwards. He's the
Yes.
one that's
Yes.
moving forward, so that's going to really help him if this division, when the UFC is matchmaking, they're looking for setting up matchups to determine title opportunities. He could very well find himself, even at a number 10 spot, potentially one or two away.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Now, for Johnny Walker, Dominic, I think
Hmm.
there's something that needs to be addressed here because I believe this is now four out of his last five he has lost.
Yeah,
Um,
it's something like that, isn't it? That's crazy.
this was a guy that had hit pretty big highs in the UFC, came in, really blew the doors off the joint, three straight KO wins, but it has just not been the same guy for a while.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is kind of the dagger, the nail in the coffin on Johnny Walker as a real threat for any sort of title in the UFC?
I think it's got to at least put that into the mind, right? Because he did come out in this one and he did more activity in, what did this go, 2 minutes, 55 seconds than he did in the entire 25 minutes with Thiago Santos. But still, it wasn't enough. And it wasn't that deadly, powerful striker and just athlete that we've seen in the past from Johnny Walker. So this loss, again, it was just, it was a perfectly timed shot by Hill. It was beautiful, but it does hurt Walker's immediate future and potential long-term future. I mean, we're talking a lot of rebuilding to ever reach top 5 and title contender status after this loss. It's a major setback, I think is a good way to put it.
I'll go a step further because I
Mm.
can tell that you don't want to say it, but I don't think that we're ever going to see Johnny Walker in the title picture. I think he's a fun fighter. I think he's a tough fight for anybody, but I think he is in Eric Silva territory as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He is a guy that had a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but unfortunately, it might have just been misguided. Like
Mm.
this was a guy. It's not like when he was making these knockouts. It's not like he had like some perfect record. I mean, this
Right.
guy had lost on the regionals a few times, but I guess for him, he's been so focused on this reinvention and trying to smarten up his game that he lost a bit of what kind of brought him to the dance in the first place.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I just don't know if he really can do it. Like, I don't know if he can really be the well rounded fighter that he wants to be.
Yeah.
I know it, obviously, in time, you keep working on it, but he is, I think, just a step behind a lot of the guys in this crop when
Yeah.
it comes to being the kind of fighter he wants to be a technical fighter, to be a high IQ fighter. The reason why he got this far was how explosive, how powerful, how athletic, how wild he can be, and hard to really gauge kind of what he's going to do next.
Hmm.
Once he started to try to kind of take some of that away in favor of more combinations,
More patient.
more patience, and more level changes, well-rounded game
Yeah.
plans. It just lost some of that. Some of that fire just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And while I think it was I don't blame anybody for trying that. I think it's worth a try because he's this. I mean, this guy's so like what he's like any coach's dream to come into the gym. This
Oh,
guy
he's a
is,
specimen. Yeah.
yeah, he's an absolute stud. And you're being told like we just want to work out some of these kinks, make him a more
Yeah.
well-rounded fighter, a smarter fighter, but it just hasn't worked out the way that I
Yeah.
think they had hoped. And it didn't help probably that he was bouncing around a little bit. I know now he's stuck with Kavanaugh for a while, but he was with Faraz Sahabi, GSP's old former coach, for a fight or two, and like all that moving around can't really do you any good either.
Yeah.
I feel like once you stay somewhere, that's usually probably better long term.
Yeah, you need that constant, it feels like in the fight game. And he just
Yeah.
hasn't found it,
Yeah, I mean, I think due to his name value, I do think you'll see him get placed with a lot of guys on their way up, which is only going to make things harder for him. Like these light heavyweights that, like Jamal Hill types, where guys that are going to be racking up wins and looking to bounce into the top 15. I think he's going to be the guy that they use to test them. And,
Yeah.
that's probably the role he plays. So I just don't see any sort of title contention or anything in his future.
Yeah, that's crazy. What just a crazy career. We don't see many that play out so wacky like this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I guess if you were one of the people that felt like this guy is he is the one to beat John Jones, you're going to be disappointed in how his career's gone.
Yeah.
But considering how he came in, and obviously he's came back down to earth ever since. I mean, if he can just stay relevant, if he can put some wins together and just stay in this top 15, I think that's a successful career because I never
Right.
really saw him as that guy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I thought there was a lot of potential there, but I never saw him quite to be the John Jones kryptonite. That
Yeah.
wasn't really what I was thinking.
And especially now.
Yeah.